The life you are currently living is not entirely your own. It is an accumulated tapestry of social expectations, childhood conditioning, cheap digital validation, and the suffocating opinions of people who do not truly care about your ultimate destiny. You wake up every single morning, pick up your smartphone, and instantly re-anchor your psychology to the same mundane identity, the same toxic patterns, the same predictable anxieties, and the same restrictive social circles that have kept you stagnant for years. You are trapped in an invisible psychological cage that you actively help construct. Every time you respond to a useless text, post an update about your life, or seek approval from a world that is inherently broken. To achieve a monumental level of personal transformation, to shatter your limitations, and to build an untouchable, high-value version of yourself, you do not need another superficial habit tracker or a motivational speech. You need a total, uncompromising reset. You need to perform a deliberate, strategic, and legal disappearance from the grid of societal noise. To disappear legally does not mean faking your own death, breaking the law, or fleeing into the wilderness like a fugitive. It means executing a cold, calculated psychological and operational withdrawal from society for exactly 6 months. It means voluntarily entering the dark, quiet isolation of your own fortress, cutting off the superficial feeds of external stimulation, starving the expectations of others, and working in complete, absolute silence until the old, weak version of your identity starves to death and a new, formidable sovereign is born. To understand the sheer necessity of this total withdrawal, you must first confront the brutal reality of how your current identity is maintained by your environment. Modern psychology and ancient Stoic wisdom agree on a fundamental truth. Your environment is a living, breathing dictatorship that constantly enforces your current self-image. Every friend who remembers you as the lazy one, every family member who treats you like you are still an insecure child, every social media algorithm tuned to your specific weaknesses, and every routine path you walk acts as an invisible anchor holding you in place. Whenever you attempt to make a small, incremental change while remaining in the same environment, your social circle subtly or overtly pulls you back down to their level. They cannot tolerate your transformation because your growth acts as an unbearable mirror, reflecting their own horrific stagnation. The ancient Stoic emperor Marcus Aurelius recognized this toxic dynamic in the Roman court and reminded himself that a man must periodically retreat into the quiet sanctuary of his own soul, far away from the corrupting noise of the crowd, because nowhere can a man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own mind. If you truly wish to rebuild your identity in 6 months, you must sever the invisible threads that tie you to your past. You must legally and quietly step out of the spotlight, stop answering non-essential calls, decline superficial social invitations, turn off the digital tracking devices of modern validation, and allow the world to believe that you have simply faded away into irrelevance. The first phase of this 6-month total reset requires you to implement an immediate, dictatorial audit of your attention and your inputs. Your attention is the most valuable currency in human existence. Whatever you give your attention to, you ultimately become. For years, you have been giving away this trillion-dollar asset for free, scattering it across endless social feeds, mindless entertainment, outrage-driven news, and the petty dramas of people who bring zero value to your life. When you enter your 6-month period of disappearance, you must institute a state of absolute digital and sensory quarantine. You must delete the social media applications that keep you tethered to public opinion, mute the group chats that consume your mental bandwidth, and stop broadcasting your location, your thoughts, and your goals to the world. You must step into total obscurity. When you stop feeding the monster of public attention, an eerie, uncomfortable silence will immediately flood your life. In the first few weeks, your brain will scream for cheap dopamine. It will experience a severe withdrawal symptom as it hungers for the easy validation, the endless scrolling, and the mindless noise it used to consume. You must sit with this discomfort like a cold, unyielding stone. Do not run from the silence. Embrace it as a sacred, cleansing fire that is actively burning away your superficial addictions and restoring the deep, analytical horsepower of your brain. Once you have quieted the external noise, you must initiate the grueling, systematic dismantling of your former self. You cannot build a monumental new identity on top of a rotten, unstable foundation. You must sit down in a quiet room with nothing but a blank notebook and conduct a brutal, unflinching audit of the person you have been up until this point. Look at your past failures, your cowardice, your lack of discipline, your physical weaknesses, and your financial dependencies without a single shred of self-pity or self-deception. Recognize that every single flaw you currently possess is the direct result of the choices you have made, the standards you have tolerated, and the low-value habits you have repeated. The Stoic master Seneca warned his friend Lucilius that we suffer more often in imagination than in reality, and that most men spend their lives fleeing from their own shadows because they lack the courage to turn around and inspect what is actually pursuing them. You must look your shadow directly in the eyes. Identify the specific lies you have been telling yourself, the lies that you are too tired, that you do not have enough time, or that external circumstances are to blame for your mediocrity. Write down every single habit, thought pattern, and relationship that has contributed to your stagnation, and formally sign a death warrant for that old persona. The person who allowed those weaknesses to persist must die in this room, so that the architect of your future can finally take command. With the old identity dismantled, the middle phase of your 6-month disappearance becomes an exercise in hyper-focused, invisible execution. You must design a daily protocol that is so dense, so disciplined, and so demanding that it leaves zero room for distraction, hesitation, or regret. Your new identity is not built by empty affirmations, positive thinking, or wishful visualization. It is forged through the relentless accumulation of indisputable, real-world evidence. If you want to become mentally tough, you must consistently force yourself through physical and psychological discomfort. If you want to become financially sovereign, you must spend hours in total isolation mastering high-value skills, studying deep market mechanics, and building systems that operate independently of your time. If you want to become emotionally untouchable, you must practice the daily art of voluntary hardship and cognitive detachment. Every single day of these 6 months must be governed by an uncompromising routine, waking up early in the dark before the rest of the world is awake, engaging in rigorous physical training that pushes your body to its absolute limits, dedicating hours of uninterrupted deep work to your chosen trade, and feeding your intellect with dense, ancient philosophy and technical knowledge. Do not seek variety, do not look for novel distractions, and do not break the chain. Embrace the magnificent, meditative monotony of doing the hard, necessary things day after day with zero applause and zero public recognition. During this intense period of silent labor, you must actively guard yourself against the deadliest trap that destroys most ambitious men, the desperate urge to break character and reveal your progress prematurely. The ego is an addictive, parasitic entity that craves immediate reward. The moment you start seeing minor results, when your body begins to change, when your skills sharpen, or when your bank account begins to grow, your ego will scream at you to post a photo, make an announcement, or show off your new persona to your old social circle. You must violently suppress this urge with an icy, stoic indifference. The moment you display your unfinished work to the world, you bleed off the internal pressure and motivational steam that is driving your transformation. You trade long-term, monumental dominance for a quick, cheap hit of temporary validation. Epictetus explicitly warned his students to keep their philosophy and their progress hidden within themselves, advising that if you want to be a true master, do not boast about your diet, your discipline, or your achievements. Let your actions speak, and let your results remain completely silent to the outside world. Treat your 6-month disappearance as a classified, high-stakes military operation. Work so quietly, execute so flawlessly, and build so deeply that the people who used to know you begin to wonder if you have vanished off the face of the earth. As you approach the final stages of your 6-month journey, you will begin to experience a profound, almost supernatural shift within your core psychology. The constant need for external approval that once dictated your life will have completely evaporated, replaced by an impenetrable, icy core of self-reliance and internal sovereignty. You will realize that the opinions of the crowd, the noise of the media, and the minor insults of mediocre individuals no longer hold any power over your emotional state. You have built an internal fortress that is completely immune to the chaos of the external world. Your body will be stronger, your mind will be sharper, your skills will be refined, and your peace will be heavily fortified. You are no longer the reactive, easily triggered, and distracted individual who entered the dark 6 months ago. You have successfully murdered your former self and reconstructed a formidable, high-value identity from the ground up. When you finally step back out into the arena of society, you do not need to make a grand announcement or explain where you have been. Your presence alone, your posture, your absolute lack of neediness, and the undeniable, towering monument of your real-world progress will speak louder than 1,000 speeches. The world will instantly recognize that you are no longer the same person they once knew, but a sovereign force that commands absolute respect. The time for hesitation, consumption, and superficial living is officially over. The gates to your 6-month fortress are open, and the decision to disappear, legally and rebuild your life must be executed within your mind right now. Stand up from your place of comfort. Put down your digital distractions. Cut the strings of toxic social validation and step boldly into the magnificent, healing darkness of total obscurity. Let the world think you have fallen off. Let them forget your name, and let them assume you are completely irrelevant while you labor in total silence. Master your body, sharpen your intellect, lock your vault of peace, and build an untouchable empire in the dark until the sheer, undeniable reality of your transformation completely shatters the silence of their ignorance. Enter your fortress, disappear legally, and rebuild your destiny today.